The insidious snowball effect of an envious or jealous person.
Whether it's you, a coworker, a friend, or your significant other, when someone becomes too jealous or envious, you should identify the problem and then fix it as soon as possible. Both jealousy and envy are known to be negative emotions. Envy is the desire to obtain what someone else possesses, whether it is tangible or intangible attributes or belongings. Envy only requires two people, you and someone else. For example, you may be envious of another student because they received a high grade on an exam but you did not. Jealousy, on the other hand, is defined as the feeling of being threatened, insecure, or protective of something you already have, especially in a romantic sense. Jealousy requires three parties. For example, you may be jealous of your best friend's new friend because you fear being replaced. Whatever the case may be, both are extremely negative characteristics that we have all encountered. Envy can be a mentally and physically damaging emotion. Envious people are more likely to be hostile, resentful, angry, and irritable. Such people are also less likely to be grateful for their positive attributes and circumstances. Envy is also linked to depression, anxiety, prejudice formation, and personal unhappiness. Unsurprisingly, these negative mental states can have an effect on physical health. Envious people can experience stress and overwhelmed. Furthermore, most people avoid hanging out with envious people because they are unpleasant to be around. As a result, envious people have fewer overall friends, as well as fewer friends who will assist them in times of need. Worse, when an envious person receives assistance, he or she often feels resentful that assistance was required in the first place. Being that envy is an unhealthy trait, how can you prevent it from happening? The first step is to realize it and make note of these feelings. This may be more challenging than it sounds because envious people usually deny it privately and publicly as they may be too ashamed to agree that they are envious. On the other side of the spectrum, there is jealousy, which has a bad reputation as well. It's natural to want to protect those we care about, especially when we see a potential rival bonding with our significant other. However, there is a distinction between feeling jealous and engaging in unhealthy jealous behavior. Normal jealousy is an instantaneous slight sense that we can usually dismiss on our own. When we indulge that feeling and act impulsively from a place of suspicion and insecurity, we engage in unhealthy jealous behavior. When insecurity runs rampant in our relationships, jealousy can quickly turn into paranoia and obsession, threatening to destroy the very relationship we're most afraid of losing. Jealousy is only a problem when it is acted upon. People who are prone to intense jealousy or possessiveness frequently harbor feelings of inadequacy or inferiority and compare themselves to others. Jealousy is a byproduct of fear, specifically afraid of not being good enough and fear of loss. When it strikes, it can fool us into thinking our relationship is in immediate danger, making it difficult to distinguish between natural feelings of protectiveness and irrational suspicion. In other words, it's pretty terrible. However, the first time we notice jealousy in our partner, we may consider it cute and think, wow, this person must really love me. If it's a healthy kind of jealousy, those feelings will pass without incident or harm to the relationship. However, we must be on the lookout for early signs of harmful habits because it can lead to other forms of abuse. Unhealthy relationships frequently begin with minor issues, such as a suspicious partner looking for evidence of cheating. If they come up empty, rather than feeling satisfied, they will vent their frustration through a variety of methods, including accusations, blaming, name-calling, and threats, before moving on to emotional and physical abuse. Their tactics vary, but as their jealousy grows, so does the possibility of escalation. That is why it is critical to recognize red flags early on. It can be easy to confuse unhealthy jealous tendencies with love. For your awareness, here are common warning signs that often show up at the start of relationships and then snowball into dangerous situations. 1. You are expected to devote all of your time to them. They're not just eager to see you, they are insistent. They ask you to skip practice, abandon your friends, or withdraw from work, school, or family obligations because they've never felt this way before, and need to be near you. When you don't comply, they may become mopey, and they have a habit of unexpectedly showing up wherever you are. They despise being apart from you and constantly contact you when you're not together. While it may appear that someone wants to spend all of their time with you, a person who respects you will recognize that you require time away from the relationship. And you deserve to be alone and pursue other interests without fear of repercussions. A loving partner will never force you to give up your hobbies, relationships, jobs, or activities in order for them to have complete control over your time. 2. They desire you to check in. Your significant other is interested in knowing where you are. They are interested in what you are doing and who you are with. They call, text, or contact you via social media the entire time you're away, expecting immediate responses. They request that you enable tracking apps such as Snap Maps so that they can see where you are. You keep your phone nearby because you know if you don't respond quickly enough, they'll become suspicious or upset. When we care about someone, it's natural to request a text or phone call to ensure that they're safe. For example, we may ask them to text us when they arrive home. This is standard procedure. When you're away, your partner shouldn't expect you to stay in constant contact, and no one should ever insist on tracking you via an app or other means. Knowing you're safe should be sufficient, and if it isn't, your boundaries aren't being respected. You are your own person, and you are free to live your life as you see fit. 3. There are rules about who you can talk to. You're aware that certain people are off limits unless you want to fight with your partner. The list could include exes, people you used to have a crush on, that flirty coworker, and so on. The reasons you're not permitted to speak with each individual vary. I believe in you, but not in them. It bothers me when you talk to that ex. I just think I should be enough for you. I've seen how he or she looks at you. The list goes on, and you go along with it even if you don't agree because the fight isn't worth it. Demands for who you can talk to can result in an abuse tactic known as isolation. This starts with not being able to talk to a specific person and evolves into rules about avoiding pretty much anyone they believe is competing for your affection, time, or attention. Everyone eventually becomes off limits until you're isolated to only your partner, paving the way for depression and possibly a physical abuse environment. It is never acceptable to limit who your partner can and cannot talk to. Trusting someone to make good decisions about the company they keep is part of loving them. You can express your concerns in a loving, honest manner, but you must then trust your partner's judgment. If neither of you can trust the other, it may be time to part ways. 4. They are always suspicious. You know you're going to get the third degree from your partner if you go out with friends. Your significant other is concerned when you are away and believes that everyone is flirting with you. It only takes someone else looking at you to get upset, and then they act as if you're to blame. You're accused of being overly friendly, dressing provocatively, or giving people the wrong impression. No matter how many times you reassure them of your loyalty, they will never believe you. People in healthy relationships do not investigate their partner's every move. They don't constantly question the other person's intentions or bombard them with accusatory questions. Insecurity, not love, searches for evidence and assumes wrongdoing. If you or your significant other struggles with ongoing suspicion, there may be a deeper underlying issue that needs to be addressed before the relationship can work. When suspicion outweighs trust, love withers. 5. They are very possessive. They've given you jewelry or a personal token to wear all the time to let people know you're taken. Even if they aren't overly sensitive in private, they enjoy public displays of affection, especially if your ex is present. They're all over your social media and insist on using the same profile picture and status update. They're hostile to someone they believe is interested in dating you. They've forced you to skip parties or cancel plans in order to be with them, and they've said things like, "You're mine," or "No one will ever love you like I do." People in happy, committed relationships understand that love necessitates giving their significant other space to be themselves. Because they trust each other, they let go of the need to mark their territory or scare off the competition. 6. They get upset quickly. You're looking forward to dinner at your favorite restaurant 1 minute, and your partner is making a scene because you're a few minutes late the next. This happens frequently, but you blame yourself because you know your partner has rage-inducing buttons, and it's your fault for pressing them. You wish you could be a better girlfriend or boyfriend, but you keep making mistakes that cause them to erupt. Some days you feel fortunate that they are so forgiving and still love you because you make so many mistakes, even when you are careful. If your partner's temper flares up quickly, it is not a reflection of you. It simply means they haven't learned how to handle conflict or are using it to manipulate, control, or dominate you. It's not your fault in either case. Healthy relationships work hard to resolve conflicts. They are committed to finding solutions to problems without hurting or disrespecting the other person. It is not your responsibility to stay and be an emotional, verbal, or physical outlet for anger if that is the only reaction you receive. 7. They keep watch of your communications. They require your phone, email account, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and any other social media app passwords. They read your messages, question you about conversations, paraphrase your words, and delete contacts they don't like, with or without your permission. You may discover that your password is no longer valid or that you have been locked out of your own account. You tell yourself it's no big deal, it's a small price to pay to be with them and demonstrate your trustworthiness. Wanting your passwords is about dominance and control, not love. Your passwords are yours alone, and anyone who demands you provide them does not trust you and is controlling. Healthy relationships do not necessitate you proving your trustworthiness because trust does not necessitate proof. Even if you don't mind sharing the information, engaging in this negative behavior communicates that it's acceptable to violate your privacy, potentially opening the door to other abusive behaviors in the future. 8. They are highly emotional. You noticed your partner came on strong right away, but you assumed it was because they adored you. They constantly call and text you and comb through all of your social media accounts, liking and/or commenting on everything, including posts from years ago. They always wanted you to themselves and were quick to say, "I love you," even if it felt quick. Conversations about forever are frequent, and they discuss how they would go insane, die, or kill themselves if the two of you ever broke up. It can be difficult to get away from them, and you may believe they are following you. While it may be flattering to believe that someone adores us so much, beneath the surface is emotional dependency. If they come on too strong from the start, that same neediness may manifest itself in pushy physical advances, stalking, threats of self-harm, and/or violence. A happy couple understands that they cannot be everything to their partner. Everyone requires some degree of freedom and independence, which is why you should never be held responsible for another person's happiness. If you are experiencing feelings of suffocation as a result of emotional intensity, don't ignore them. How to put an end to jealousy tactics. The key to maintaining a healthy relationship is to recognize warning signs early on. If your partner is jealous, here are some first steps you can take to try to resolve the situation. First, take a gentle approach when discussing your partner's concerns. Listen to what they say and be open about how their actions make you feel. Second, set boundaries with your partner. Discuss how you want to be treated, taking into account what is important to each of you. Tell them, for example, that you will contact them once when you arrive at a friend's house, but that you will not be checking your phone throughout the night. Knowing what to expect will take the guesswork and anxiety out of the equation for both of you. If you are the one who is jealous, keep the following in mind. Jealousy is a feeling, not a command. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that a feeling is not the same as reality when it arises. In other words, just because you suspect someone of cheating does not necessarily imply that they are. Because what you focus on expands. If you've convinced yourself that your partner is cheating, you'll see evidence where there is none. Instead of obsessing, acknowledge your feelings and then let them go. If we do not pay special attention to it, it will usually pass on its own. Recognize that there is no certainty in relationships. You can't make someone love you, and you can't make someone stay loyal or stay with you. If you can't trust your partner, you should leave so you can be independent or find someone who shares your values. Be honest if you can't get past your jealousy. Instead of sulking or giving the silent treatment, tell your partner exactly what's bothering you and listen to their response. You'll probably discover that the interaction strengthens the relationship rather than tearing it down, as punishments and games do. If your partner's jealousy becomes abusive, seek help immediately. Inform a friend, family member, or a responsible adult. Ending an abusive relationship can be a dangerous and frightening experience. Now that you understand everything about jealousy, I am going to wrap it up with a little more points on being envious. Envy is harmful to one's mental health because it causes stress, anxiety, and frustration. It is crippling because it can take over your every thought and turn you into someone who is obsessed with another person's possessions, qualities, or day-to-day life. Envy can have a negative impact on both one's mental and physical health. Envy stems from low self-esteem and, in some cases, a toxic childhood in which the person felt innately inadequate. The envious person desires what the other person has, whether it is a job, a relationship, a family, wealth, intelligence, or appearance, and is upsetting that they cannot have it. Envy makes you feel less than others. It devalues not only you, but also others. It shatters relationships. It makes you unhappy, bitter, and unappreciative of the good things in your life that you could enjoy. Furthermore, if you are envious of someone who has something you desire, you may attack that person, either intentionally or unintentionally. You begin to feel resentful, disgruntled, and hateful toward the other person, making them feel insignificant and desiring their failure. Nothing worthwhile comes easily. If you want something good for yourself, you must put in the effort. If you want a good life, you must put in the work.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this.